You are now listening to Brown People Task Force Podcast. Now here is your host, Phaser.
He can't fix it. He's just always hammering and humming.
I did it so your quality would not sound as bad as mine. Please appreciate my sacrifice.
I don't think Agent. I think he hung up on us.
Wise choice.
Dude, is that Darth Vader making a snow globe?
It's departed. It's trying to make fun of people's microphones. He's been waiting a long time for this.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, to anyone who's listening to this drivel, welcome to another episode of the Brown People Podcast. I am joined by two very special guests here. I've got Takagawa's resident contrarian, Freeman.
What's up?
I've got everyone's favorite admin, guy with an MGSF, Hardon Departed.
That's me.
We've got the original squad, Matt, Rowan, Verenia. How are you guys doing?
Good.
And of course, your illustrious host, Max Payne. So, before we get to the main course, have you guys seen the Metal Gear Survive gameplay?
Yep. It's on my notes.
So how did everyone feel about that?
It's just DLC,
Valid.
essentially.
It actually, yeah.
I mean, I haven't watched it, so can anyone sum it up for me?
It is the. Remember how they kept having those gameplay demos? What is it? A Hero's Way. Same thing. It's the Hero's Way again, but there's some broken stuff, and you just shoot a bunch of zombies.
Following the course, I mean, I'm kind of surprised though. People are like, acting like they're disappointed. What do they actually expect?
What is the gameplay actually like?
It's the same as Metal Gear Solid 5.
I haven't seen anything about it.
They posted a link in the Metal Gear Survive chat of the stream. Go on like Metal Gear's official Twitter page. They got a link to it with English subtitles.
It's pretty much MGS5.
Cutscenes or story, or is it just
gameplay?
straight up horde?
It was like straight up. It was like they had they infiltrating the bases, and then they had like horde after the fact, like a defense mode or some shit.
How did the zombies act? Did they show were they anything special or?
Well, they have like an infection thing now. Like if they instead of just like flailing their arms like retards, they like bite you, and if they bite you, like you actually get like infected. So you gotta like cure any part they bite at now. And like they have zombies that like hide in the ground, and if you like walk towards them, they just like chomp at you and shit. They got like weak points that you can attack. There's like environmental shit. You can throw them in pipes and shit. You can use goats to lure them and set them on fire.
That sounds like a decent DLC experience, as Verenia said. But I mean, I'm just talking out of my ass here because I haven't seen it. But it just doesn't sound like it justifies a new game.
I mean, because it's from what I understand, it's like the whole Afghanistan shit. Like it's actually like mission based. Like I think there's like, if I remember the information drop right, it's like 20 or so missions, and doing that shit co-op or single player or whatever, like I guess that's where like the price thing comes in. I'm still gonna like wait until like they show up like what the actual missions are like before I make any judgment call. Gameplay looks awesome, but I mean, gameplay enough ain't enough for me. So if the missions are cool, if there's like other enemies and shit, if I can actually have fun without playing with you bastards, then I'm cool.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, go on.
What's up?
How much is the game?
They kept saying
30 something.
like they kept saying it wasn't like a full price game. They kept hammering that, and some motherfuckers
That's
said
still a
like,
lot.
oh, I'm sorry. What's up?
That's still a lot. $30 you
Yeah.
said?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like for the map and for like the mission amount, I guess I don't know. I'm still like waiting before I make any judgment call.
Yeah, we don't know how long the game is.
I'm just not interested in the concept personally. I'd rather have my MG1 remake.
There's nothing wrong with it, but there's nothing actually wrong with the game as far as I could see. But it was all reused assets, and like even the HUD icons were the same. So as far as I'm concerned, it's just DLC.
Yeah, I mean, go on. Sorry.
Nah, I'm with you there. I'm still holding out hope for the Metal Gear remake next year, since they kept saying they got something announced. Like if that turns out to be the release date, I'm gonna choke, motherfucker.
Yeah.
If I see Metal Gear Survive available for pre-order, I'll go ahead and bite the bullet and do it. Why not?
Don't be that guy.
I'll be that guy. I mean, the gameplay looks good. As far as the whole crafting thing is, you go to a crafting table, so I guess it's more or less real time. You build barricades,
dick suckers.
Put a chain link fence, or not chain link fence, but like a gate, like a chain gate, and you can stab people through it. And they all, once they start pushing up against it, they start climbing on each other's backs. They can pile it over. The fence kind of like bends over, and then they collapse in. It's nice. I mean,
oh
it doesn't
my god,
look like
so much innovation,
innovation. You can build a gun, you can shoot people in the head. I mean, what I'm looking forward to, because when I played Metal Gear Solid 5, I was one of those non-lethal people, because, get those points.
That's so boring.
In zombie mode, it gives you more of an excuse to use your weapons. Like, it'd be nice to set them on fire, shoot them in the head with a gun. I mean, you don't need to take anybody back.
I don't know. I never played non-lethal in MGS5, to be honest. It just wasn't as fun as headshotting others and stuff, so...
You want fun, you got Ghost, the motherfucker. That's real fun.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, ghosting seems okay, but it seems, I don't know. I mean, I've only done it a few times, and it just wasn't too thrilling, I guess. It was just a fun experience.
Yeah, I guess it depends like what missions you do it on or whatever. Like, cause I did episode 30 on Ghost, and like that for me was like
fair enough.
Playing Metal Gear game,
If they have Zombie OKB0, Gepard is just gonna get on and start raving how awesome it's gonna be, and he's gonna buy it immediately.
I'm just waiting for this Skullface boss fight.
All they fucking needed was a parallel Skullface boss fight, and I would have bought like 5 copies. But nah, they don't got motherfucker. I can't win. I can't fucking win every single time.
Maybe the modding community will take care of it. They'll just mod all the zombies to be skull faces.
Nah, the motherfucking modders, they already did that shit. They made Skullface a bear. It just doesn't work. A bear that screams "who" and charges at you ain't the same thing. God damn it.
That sounds like a good boss fight to me.
Yeah, that's better than what we have. Just saying.
It's a better ending too.
Yeah. Oh my god, that would have been so awesome.
It's good social commentary on the effects of PTSD. It's Skullface Bear.
Yeah, people are actually really pushing that PTSD theory, even though it's insulting in my opinion.
Well,
yeah, it would be pretty fucked up if all of it's just like guys going nuts in the end. Like
no, just like if your idea of what PTSD looks like is a bunch of Last of Us rip-offs and a half-naked sniper. Just please, don't try. Just stop.
Ain't these the same people who said that Skullface was Ocelot and that Gray Fox was like Chico?
Yeah.
That is Chico. Still believe.
Yeah.
Chico is fine.
Shut up, NCR.
There's something that's been bugging me I need to ask a question about.
Yeah.
If I may. What the fuck is a Mr. Robot?
Oh man, amazing show.
I never heard of it until like last week.
I heard of it, but I thought it was just there. Then it had this big following.
I hadn't heard about it until like a few months ago actually. Then a friend of mine kept annoying me to watch, and then I did, and I was like, holy shit, where was this?
I'm sure it's not as good as Hannibal.
Well, review-wise, it's doing really good. So I mean, that's enough to stand for me. But I mean, I still got like a bunch of shit I gotta do before I can watch it though.
I think it's 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
96. Holy shit.
96.
I do legit want to see it, but I mean, I'm just fucking busy all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to watch it, but I'm afraid I'll hate it just not because it's a bad show, but because I want to piss Preben off. So
you can try. I doubt you actually hate it.
Don't put it past him, dude.
It's possible, I guess.
What is the point of Mr. Robot? I just see like some smug-looking pale guy going, "Ooh, I'm Mr. Robot," and there's a bunch of like government shit. What is it? Like, why do I need to watch this?
I've just seen the first episode, and as far as I can see, he's a hacker, and like there's an overarching Illuminati kind of like story going on. But I've just seen the first 2 episodes, so I can't. I don't know how it develops.
Weird question, but
like,
does it give
Basil,
Deus Ex
we
vibe?
have a guest. We asked him about the show. Can
I
you let him
haven't
answer
done
that one
this for a
first?
while. Okay, go on, please. Sorry.
no, the beginning really is about, this activist hacker doing some vigilante shit on the internet. But, I can't talk a lot without spoiling stuff, but it's not about that. Like, the hacker thing, it's important, but that's not what the show is about.
It's like a surface thing.
What's that?
It's like a surface thing.
Yeah, pretty much. It's still important, but it's not the main point of the show.
This is a weird question, but from your description, it kind of gives me like a Deus Ex vibe, like corporations and fucking questioning reality and all that bullshit.
Not really, not really. It's better written than Deus Ex for sure.
But no one talks
I mean,
about
you
one
could draw some parallels, I guess, but not really.
Alright, fair enough. So, I think it's time to get into what we are all here for, MGS2. There are 2 ways we can do this, so I'll leave it up to you guys. We can do this like structured thing, where I put up a topic, Freeman and Departed go at it, and then they have to grade it relative to the series as a whole. So for example, I say music, Departed says the music is shit. Freeman says the music is good. Then Freeman says MGS2 soundtrack, then MGS5 soundtrack, and then Departed rates it as well. Or we can just do a free for all. What are you guys say?
What about everyone else? This ain't just me and him, is it?
Yeah, of course, we'll interject, but like you guys are like the main event here. So, what do you guys think? What should we do? Free for all or structure?
Let's start with structure, and then we'll inevitably go to free for all.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, okay, good point. So, let's start with gameplay.
Okay.
Alright, so Freeman, what's your opinion of MGS2's gameplay relative to MGS1 and the series as a whole?
It's a natural evolution from MGS1. Still holds the basics. Yeah, pretty much the same structure as MGS1, but first person shooting. Some improvements. Obviously, it doesn't hold up to MGS5 or even MGS4, possibly MGS3.
Absolutely, MGS3 subsistence. You got the third-person camera.
What happened
Right
to
stick
you?
over the shoulder.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
No, MGS2 does not have worse gameplay than 3 or 4.
No, I did not.
Well,
I
it kinda
I meant more dated.
Oh yeah, fair enough. The controls are definitely more dated.
But I think it works. It works to the game's benefit because the way the maps are structured, I don't think a 360 free camera would work very well at all.
Yeah. Do you feel that if you had to compare MGS3's gameplay and MGS2's, which one do you prefer?
Like MGS3 or MGS the HD where you can like move your camera around?
Let's start with the basic one.
Oh, basic. Well, first I guess I do like MGS2's gameplay better than MGS1 because like I just say it, I don't like MGS1's gameplay a whole lot because the shooting is shit in that game. But with MGS2, I don't give a fuck. With MGS2 though,
Let him finish.
With MGS2 though, like they added first-person view shooting, and like that shit, like that went a long way in like the boss fights. Like you could shoot Vamp's knives, you could shoot Fat Man's fat head, you can shoot like you can actually have like a proper shootout with Olga and shit, and like it worked in that game's favor and all. With MGS3 though, like what I liked about it though was that I guess the gameplay is like a lot of the same shit. Like there really isn't a whole lot of difference. What made the difference was like the environment. I don't know if that applies to like gameplay though, does it?
Yeah, it does.
In that case MGS3 because like what I don't like about MGS2's gameplay is like what Freeman said, like it does like work. It works in its favor, but like it's still too much of the same shit for me. Like the environment's all samey, like it all feels familiar. Whereas MGS3, you're constantly going to different places, you know, like
But
jungle.
the familiarity is part of the meta.
The familiarity is probably why I hate that fucking game, but you know, whatever.
Alright, so...
Yeah, it's meta to make you pay for the same shit you already fucking... Yeah, that's meta. That's awesome.
I think it's kind of a unfair comparison to do with MGS3 like that, because MGS2, like, it was very much a sequel to MGS1. I know that sounds obvious, but you know, it was made because of the hype of MGS1, while MGS3 was something like, okay, let's start over. So I think that they were trying to do different things in considering the environment and level design.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, I got what you mean there. Like, in terms of just like as a sequel, I think MGS2 does improve on MGS1. Like, it does its job there. The problem is, like, it's hard to describe if like my beef is like the gameplay or the environment or the story. Like, it's really hard to pinpoint because like the controls, like the core like controls there, like that's a step up from MGS1. You know? And MGS3 is like literally all the same shit. You know? You might be doing a different like a slower punch kick bullshit, but it's still ultimately going to be the same. And so I mean, in terms of gameplay, that's a wash. One thing I do like about MGS2 over MGS3 is that it doesn't have that stupid fucking survival viewer. Pausing every 6 seconds to change camouflage. Like, I'm crawling in the bushes, I'm 85%. I crawl in the dirt and now I'm 40%. Yeah, you don't have to do it, but it gets, you always want to stay on top of it.
The camo index is abysmal. Absolutely hate that system. Really glad
I thought it was a good idea. I thought it was okay. Like, I don't think you were meant to just keep changing it every time you. It was just more like.
I agree. I think that's why it's a failure of game design, personally, because it's obviously intended for you like to think and pick camos, but the fact that you can just change any moment will basically force the player into choosing the highest index every 5 seconds.
It doesn't though. I think most people didn't pause the game every 2 minutes. I mean, I just guessing, but I think.
Personally, I just kept olive drab because I was like, man, I'm so cool in my olive drab.
I would have sworn you'd go like an animal the whole time.
Yeah.
Or janitor.
Actually,
just a question.
Go on. Sorry.
Just a question for Departed. On the subject of MGS2 and its gameplay, do you think the tanker chapter rectified some of the issues you have with the gameplay, and would you have preferred it if the entire game was more like the tanker chapter?
Nah, if anything, man, I would prefer if the game was like Arsenal the whole time. Like, mind-fuck the whole time. Because for me, like, Arsenal, that's like the most atmospheric gameplay in all of Metal Gear. Like, it's a fucking trip. And the music is like, for me, Arsenal's cool, but it's not something I haven't seen before. Like, I've seen Spy on Ship before. I've seen Die Hard 3. Arsenal, that's something I've never seen before. Like, the music was haunting. The Colonel was ape shit. Running around naked was awesome. So were the cartwheels. The enemies were different. The boss fights were insane. Like, if anything, I would have really loved if Metal Gear Solid 2 were more of a head trip like that. In a sense that it's something I haven't seen before, rather than relying so much on.
Well, just playing devil's advocate here.
Okay.
But if shit, that word is bad. If
no, you cannot buy the forums.
If all of MGS2 was like Arsenal, wouldn't it lose its luster?
I mean, if it's one note the whole time, yeah, I'm saying like if it's unique like Arsenal, not like verbatim, just like Arsenal. So I mean, like something I haven't seen before, something more surreal, something more. What's up?
Arsenal is like 80% of the game, so you do agree that 80% of the game is like very unique.
80% of the game?
It's more like 20%.
I think.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
Like a metric system thing.
Yeah. Sorry. We were talking about the.
Damn Canada.
Hey.
We're outnumbered right now, dude.
Oh wait, what? 1, 2.
It's only 2 Canadians.
Oh.
I thought Verenia was Canadian.
No, he's British.
No.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
Oh no. And that's why he's not in your org anymore, Parted. Back to
Wow. My god, to call a guy a Canadian, what the fuck, man?
Freeman,
Yeah.
dude, they're saying it, not me. I ain't saying it.
Oh my god. It's a shame. But since we're talking about it, let's talk for a minute, not about the story, just the atmosphere in general. Like, as a whole package. How did you feel about MGS2's atmospherics?
Should I go first?
Yeah, you go ahead.
No.
I think it's one of the best parts of the game. I think it just feels like the whole very surreal feel of the game, especially in the second half of Arsenal Gear. Once you implement the virus, just the music, the Colonel going ape shit. I think that in that part, the atmosphere is probably one of the best in the series, in my opinion.
Just what moment was for you, you were like, this game is something special?
After I played for like 5 times, because in the beginning I thought it was horrible. Like my first few playthroughs, I was just like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, fair enough.
So, but it was mostly after I joined the forums and I started reading about it and started seeing from a different perspective, understood, how the game was released and what it was trying to do. And then I played it again and I was like, yeah, this is something special.
Yeah, fair enough. Actually, I remember your what's called understanding MGS2 topic. That
was horrible.
yeah, actually, that was pretty bad when I look back at it.
Terrible.
But it did
I
introduce
read
a
it.
lot of people to the idea that MGS2 may not.
I think, it was a cool topic because it had a bunch of discussions on it. That it spurred a bunch of discussions, but like if I read through it now, like the first post, I was like, oh my god, this is cringeworthy. This is terrible.
Yeah, a lot of your time went into that back then.
I remember I actually used to really hate MGS2 when I first joined. It wasn't until I replayed the whole series when I realized MGS3 was a pile of shit. And MGS2 was actually pretty good. And yeah, that topic actually inspired me to replay the game. So you guys can thank him for my epiphany on MGS3.
Affinity.
Actually, we need to hear why you
Obscenity.
hate MGS3.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh boy, well, like, that need its own podcast, but in general, it's just a knee-jerk reaction for the people who misunderstood MGS2, and it's not even good at being a basic sort of return to the roots game. So yeah, it just kind of fails at everything, really.
Nah.
Except
What is he
gameplay,
rambling
except
about? I wasn't paying
aspects,
attention.
Except for music.
Yeah, except every single aspect of it.
I mean, like that shit about Sinking, I don't like. I mean, for me, it's still like the one for the first Metal Gear 4 Metal Gear games, 5, whatever. Yes, for me, Snake Eater was like the one good one. For me.
We can save this for later. Just let's. Yeah. Just don't worry. I'll like you all guys on MGS3 one day. So let's talk story more directly now. What aspects of the story do you actually like, other than Arsenal?
Other than Arsenal, like the surface plot. Like what are you talking about?
Just in general, what do you think of the themes, if you actually like anything about the convoluted surface plot, if there's anything that stood out to you?
like, is there a moment in the story that you're saying?
No, there are there are moments I like. Like for me, the obviously everything in Arsenal's that is like some of the best Metal Gear for me. Another part I like is No, not almost everything about Solidus. That was I thought he was like a way better villain than Liquid Snake. Like I liked I guess well there's some themes that I do think are pretty interesting. Like when we realize everything you're playing ain't like it's just a simulation. Like I think a lot of people like miss the point of that. Like IGN just posted a list like yesterday, top 10 worst endings in great video games. One of them was Metal Gear Solid 2, and they said it's because turns out everyone was a robot. Like they don't know what the fuck they're talking about in that list. Too bad. Their exact words. Too bad. Great characters like Emma, Olga, and Fortune were robots, and they weren't even.
What?
That's legitimately. Go on IGN. It's still there. Like you can check it out right now.
Oh my god. No. Who the fuck
That's
likes
it.
Emma?
I mean, I like
Is that what
there's
you got out of that? Fucking face off.
Like there's shit I do like. I off the top of my. The other thing I like is I guess Snake and Otacon. I like them a lot more. I like their story. I like how they explore shit. Like
I think Snake's character is probably Solid Snake's character is probably best portrayed in the whole series in MGS.
Yeah, I kind of feel that too.
yeah.
Working off in the locker.
I like him a lot better in Sons of Liberty than I did in Metal Gear Solid 1. Like there's something Kaman said like when we were talking about because until like a couple of months ago he used to like really love like not really love but he actually liked Sons of Liberty too. Like when he changed his tune I'm like whoa shit why don't you like it? And the biggest thing he's talked about was something that I hadn't considered. Like he said, I don't know if you guys agree with this or not, he says that like S3 goes one step too far, kind of undoes what made it work for him. Like he made like some long ass fucking post I don't know where like but I guess like the
His
general
quotes are better than yours.
yeah, thank you. The general gist of like the shit he said was that the whole thing being a simulation doesn't mean it has to be familiar to Solid Snake's story if it's not about Solid Snake. Like he said, what made it work initially was it being a Solid Snake simulation. Like that's what made the people having the Fox Eye heart attacks make sense. That's what made the ninja being around make sense. That's what made the special unit, the relationship, the fact that Big Shell feels a lot like Shadow Moses. That's what makes it all tie together and work because it's all really specific to Solid Snake. But when it turns out that it ain't that it's like selection for societal sanity or some shit, that's when he said things. Why does it need to be all of that if they said themselves like it could have been a fantasy game? It could have been a completely new experience and you would have still gone along with it. Because you bought the game by default, you the player have to go along with it because you don't have to just stop playing the game.
Okay,
So
I disagree with that a lot. Well, I think if the game ended with us thinking that the S3 standard for Solid Snake Simulation, then it would really be just a rip-off of MGS1. It would just be a story about a
But
rookie. But it's
isn't
not.
it still a rip-off of MGS1?
I don't think so. I think, it's a story that depends on MGS1, and both in real life and within the game's universe. But
See, here's my beef about that because I get what I do get what the ending's all about. Like, there's this misconception that people who don't like MGS2 like don't get it. I get it. Like, I get like it's supposed to be. It's playing.
No, you're
cards.
stupid.
Thank you. I love you too. But here's the thing. This is a video game. I'm not paying to play the exact same thing I played 3 years before. Because I mean, again, I played it in '98. Like I played it again in 2001. I'm not paying however much you paid for back then to play the same game. Like I'm not paying to experience the exact same story beats, whether or not they're like different or not. The exact same enemy threat, the general threat. Like it all comes together at the end. Like I don't deny that. Like I like the way it all plays out. But it happens at the end. That's when it all comes together. The entire experience before that, it might complement that ending, but the problem is it's still coming at the expense of a new game. You could have
Okay,
made this. Oh, yo.
Just I've got a question. So this
Wait,
is
can
going
I
to be
just
a
reply
bit...
to that? Can I just reply to that real quick?
No,
Yeah, go on, please, go on.
Because it's not the same game. I don't think it's the same game at all. I think they use the same. It's kind of the same pacing with the ninja and the thing, but it's subversive. Like you as Raiden, you're not as successful as Nick. Like how was it? Like the first few bosses, you don't actually beat them until fat. You don't beat as Raiden. You don't beat Olga, and you don't beat no, not Olga. Fortune. And you don't beat Van when you first meet him. And when you it's just a few examples, like when you first start playing as Raiden, then you have that elevator scene just like in MGS1.
Yeah.
Snake already did the job for you, so it does follow the same path, but it makes a point to say you're not Solid Snake, you're not as good as him, either talking to Raiden or talking to the player.
In cutscene, sure, but in gameplay, you're still just as effective as Snake. Like, it doesn't... Yeah, you might not be killing everyone, you might not be doing that thing, but you're still going to be doing the exact same shit. Like, even Snake and Raiden, whether or not Raiden's stance might be, like, way more girly, his punch-kick combo might be a little bit more floaty or whatever the word is, but it's still, like, ultimately the same shit. Like, Raiden still plays just like Snake. Raiden still does all the same shit like Snake. Even if he isn't the one who wiped out all those dudes at the beginning, he can still wipe out all the dudes that come later. And hell, like, the dudes can actually still get up in that opening part and you can kill them then. Like,
Right.
even the boss fights, like, in Metal Gear 1, like, most of the boss fights you counter the first time don't die either. The only one who does is Mantis. Ocelot, he gets away. Wolf gets away. Raven gets away. Fox gets away. Hell, Liquid gets away like a billion times. And like,
But it still feels like a victory in MGS1. It does. I don't think, even from a gameplay perspective, it doesn't, like, the story progresses, but it doesn't feel satisfying, you know what I mean?
I don't know about that because I don't like the boss fights in Metal Gear Solid 1, and I like the boss fights in Metal Gear Solid 2. The only boss fights in Metal Gear Solid 1 I liked were Mantis, Fox, M1, and I think Raven.
I want to harken back to an earlier point you made about not wanting to pay for the exact same shit, despite it being there to make a point. But would you argue that such a, consumer attitude can, like, stifle a game's attempt at making an artistic point, or, you know...
You know why we don't have a boss fight with Skullface? Because motherfucker Kojima wanted to make an artistic point.
Yeah, but that's a shitty artistic point.
Yeah, I think a lot of the points Kojima is trying to make aren't exactly great. Why is Quiet not wearing clothes? Because we're ashamed of our words and deeds, right?
Yeah.
Kojima, is Kojima really someone you can trust to make an artistic point?
No.
Right then.
No, if we're involving MGS5 in the conversation, a lot of these criticisms you could apply to MGS5, which could have been a much better game if he wasn't trying to make these points.
Damn.
What's that?
I agree, but in MGS2 he didn't have the same technology he had in MGS5. So especially what Departed was saying about in the gameplay you don't actually feel different. I think that's more because, you know, it was 2001 and it was pretty limited.
Well, I mean, look at Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain, because there is a legit difference between Big Boss and Venom Snake. Big Boss plays like every other Diamond Dog character you play as. He's fast, yeah, but he doesn't have any unique moves, whereas Venom Snake has that radar thing when you slam the ground. He's got all those super robot arm moves. He's got the Falcon Punch. He's legitimately faster than all the other players, you know? And he's voiced by Keeper Snake.
Keith, have you played Spec Ops: The Line?
I finally watched it. I loved it.
Alright, so that game, I think most of you know that I have a love affair with that game, and one thing that game does is the gameplay is incredibly fucking just like Gears of War. It was downgraded to a shit ripoff.
Yeah,
but
it's like
that's part of, but just the fact that it's so unengaging, that's part of what makes that game's story and point work. But if we're to go by the attitude that you're paying for a product and you expect like just general fun and entertainment, wouldn't we not have games like Spec Ops or MGS2 that try to make a point through maybe just not being as enjoyable or going against the player's expectations?
Well, the thing about Spec Ops is that everything is informing on the end. Everything is informing on Walker as a character and that big revealing game, you know? Like, the gameplay itself it might play just like SOCOM 4, but that's part of it. You actually see everything going on, and the ending actually works as a result because you've seen what happens. And the point is, Spec Ops, like, it plays like your generic, like, military game, and you play it as such, and that's when your consequences start paying off. Like, the shit like, I can't even compare, like, Metal Gear to Spec Ops, because
Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the execution is as good in MGS2, because I don't think it is. But just the general concept that a game has to abide by the idea that this guy is paying $60 for a fun time. Don't you think that can stifle creativity in a way?
Well, the thing about that is, from what I understand, the people I know who played the game, they didn't like, hate the game. Like, they enjoyed
Yeah, it's just average.
Yeah, like the review said as much. Like, it wasn't. The gameplay might have been average. The story was above average. The problem with Sons of Liberty is, in that regard, it's still like that's hard to explain. Like, because I guess that's a good point. Like, if something does come at the expense of a story, is it worth it? And I guess that's where execution comes in. Because with Spec Ops, I think it is worth it because the execution is wonderful. Problem is with Sons of Liberty, I don't know if it is because I don't know how I feel about the execution. Right?
Yeah.
But the thing is,
Well-
I don't like the separation of the gameplay is bad but the story is good or whatever. I don't think the gameplay in Spec Ops is bad. I think because it informs the story, it turns out to actually be good. Like, if I want to pick up and play Spec Ops, I'll do it. It's not a drag for me. Same with MGS2. So yeah, I just don't like this. Oh, let's sacrifice one for the other. You don't really have to do that, and I don't think Spec Ops did that.
Yeah.
And MGS2 is sitting at 96 on Metacritic, so
42
obviously
reviews. 42 reviews. 42 reviews.
Yeah, I tried this one.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Y'all
never
don't know how Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes works. I ain't even gonna have that shit.
Actually, I'm gonna say Rotten Tomatoes is bullshit because some reviews weight more than others.
Well, how?
Like in Metacritic, you have a bunch of reviews, but not all of them inform like a normal average. Like you have, for example, IGN's review on Metacritic's formula or scale has more impact on the score than say Destructoids, and that's just kind of bullshit.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I mean, but doesn't that make sense though? Because like any minor website could give a game a bad review and drag the score way down.
Yeah.
Whereas IGN has some accountability.
I don't know. I think OpenCritic doesn't do that kind of stuff, and it feels more consistent than Metacritic. But
I ain't gonna
but
fight
yeah.
the establishment.
Nah. Cameron truly created a monster. But when it comes to, since I know Freeman, you have a hard-on for MGS2. Steve, I know you have a hard-on for MGS5. Where do you feel like MGS5 has this like kind of the same twist, just in reverse, basically? Where do you feel that MGS5 succeeded where MGS2 failed?
Are you asking me or him?
You.
Well, first off, it didn't do so. Like, the story was still new. It didn't feel like any other story I'd ever played. In fact, even the threat was like, this was the first game. Like Keeper Snake even says, like, he, it's like it ain't just like another nuke, So that the threat in of itself is different. The story is structured differently. The story is it makes you more involved because you're a big boss, you're the player. You're actively seeking all the information and shit out. Which is why when people say there ain't no story, I want to slap them upside their fucking heads and then kiss them, because, like, I guess
is anyone driving in the background, or am I hearing things?
You're always hearing things, dude.
Okay.
It's your microphone. It's affecting your brain now, or your ears.
Look who's talking.
The
I know, look,
the only blue square lighting up when everybody else is quiet is Infiltrator. So
Yeah, I'm breathing hard.
weird background noise is probably him.
Well, I'm not
The
doing
Canadian
anything.
freeze.
I'm just watching
Like-
the squares.
I just breathe really hard.
Is mine still yelling at Martin Luther Blaine?
Oh God, no! It's yelling above. God damn, I forgot his name. Freeman's head. It's like this yelling over his hair.
He's still mad at him being Canadian.
Yeah, he's not even gonna look at him, but he's just angry in his general direction.
I can relate. So I guess I still love you. I guess the other thing that like I would say MGS5 did where I felt like MGS2 could have done it better was the fact that like I won't say like this twist didn't come at the expense of something because it did. Like to make Venom Snake like the actual player, that meant there were a lot more missions where we were the ones actively doing the shit instead of him. So I guess one expense that came at it was that he was like a lot of times he was more like letting people do the talking for him instead of doing the talking himself. But the story as a whole still felt new. It still felt different. Like the entire, and more importantly, the entire thing didn't hinge on the twist. Like you still have an engaging story without it, and with it, it informs on everything.
Debatable.
But with it, when you find out, see, here's what I really love about the twist, because without it, it doesn't make sense like why this guy would go bad. But when I think back on everything that happened in that game, when I think back on the fact that I'm Big Boss, that I'm the dude who's being forced to shoot all these fucking pre-zombies in Mission 43, that I'm the one who has to put up with that bullshit Mission 45 shit, that I'm the one that has to dance in the rain because I'm ashamed of my words and deeds, like, it makes sense that it's so fucked up that this dude is fighting a war that isn't his. It makes sense that this guy is basically living a lie and he's forced to live it until he's dead. He goes to his, and I think back on the entire series that came before it, and there isn't so much as a single mention of Venom Snake, that he doesn't exist anymore. This is a dude who did so much shit. He did impossible shit. Like, he took down an entire base of XOF with inflatable versions of himself, because that's what I did on one run one time, and no one knows he existed. No one knows.
So why couldn't they actually put that in the story instead of him just kind of smiling and punching a mirror? Why not actually have him be angry about it? But
Well, no. I'm gonna jump on the MGS5 defense squad. That scene works because it's so minimalist.
Okay,
Like,
so
Like, that was like, generally Kojima sucks at being subtle or doing any form of actual good storytelling that doesn't rely on meta bullshit. But just that scene has like so little spoken words on Venom's part, but just like the use of facial capture, and like you can see the anger on his face when he punches the mirror, and the imagery just conveys everything you need to know.
can we just have a Metal Gear game we don't have to make excuses for? Can we just say this is a good game? Like Metal Gear Solid 3? Some
Metal
silly
Gear
stuff.
3. That's enough.
I
You
still like
two can
5
go
better.
fuck yourself.
I like 3 too. I still like 5 better though.
I don't know. I still not convinced if I like 5 or not. If I like the story of 5 or not. Like I can't really understand what Kojima was trying to say. Like I don't care about how it relates to the
He
rest
was
of
trying
the
to say,
time.
I'm really glad to be working on Silent Hills. This is awesome. I get to work with Norman Reedus. Fuck Metal Gear. I am done with it forever. Oh, I'm fired. That's what he was thinking.
Well, I think he was mainly trying to not tell the story. He was trying to really cut down on the amount of cutscenes, the amount of exposition.
Actually, you're not wrong. In the novel, he says, we run into this problem where we realized we're making a Metal Gear game. Metal Gear game needs a story, so we just kind of put it in cassettes and blue radio screens that are totally lame and fucking optional conversations. Because the game was designed, Kojima had the gameplay idea in mind that he wanted to see happen, more so than the story.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. I don't think Kojima's really good at writing stories, to be honest. So I mean,
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I agree.
but I mean, the reason. Well, I mean, what is it like you would say that you don't like about like the story? Like, is it the The characters, the plot, like, what would you say like grinds your gears?
Me or Freeman?
Not Freeman. That was the headphones were kind of fucky. Was it who was it that said he didn't know that they were trying to what Kojima was trying to say?
Me, I
Oh
said.
yeah, Freeman.
Oh yeah, then yeah, I'm asking him then.
It's not that I didn't like. I was trying to like the whole time because I knew the twist beforehand because I'm an
Oh shit,
idiot and I read the thing. But
my bad.
but I was happy about it. That I was like, this is gonna be awesome, and I just really didn't understand when it came. Like, I understand from a story perspective. I just didn't understand, why is that there? Like, is it just because it fits the whole narrative? Is just to show that Big Boss didn't really go bad? He was the other guy. Because
Well,
I can't help but think that that's gotta be more to it than that. But maybe that's just wishful thinking.
well, one thing about it is that we know that Big Boss is still a shithead because of what happened. Like that's one thing people always say. Like,
Oh yeah,
I want Big Boss to have his turning point. There is no turning point. The motherfucker, he robbed the dude of his face and his life, and let an entire hospital of people get mowed to shit by guys who can't spell fox.
Actually, if I can interject with my own interpretation on what Kojima was trying to do, I think he was trying to paint Big Boss as a villain through the player's experience. So what I think happens is who represents who is the Venom represents the player in the ending. Kojima represents Big Boss. And I feel like the ending is so confusing and filled with rage-inducing inconsistencies, like the beard on Ishmael's face not being there and all that kind of stuff. So the player will, when he gets to the ending, when Big Boss tells him, when Kojima tells him you're Big Boss, the player will reject it. He'll reject the idea. He'll think it's stupid. He won't accept the inconsistencies. He won't accept the ending. Which is what Venom feels. He rejects being Big Boss, he goes mental, and MG1 happens. So what I think Kojima is trying to do is he's trying to make us hate Big Boss by basically betraying the player's expectations.
Pretty much, yeah. And what I like about that twist is, yeah, it's still one that people are gonna love or gonna hate, but it's not one that's going to compromise anything that comes before. It's not going to compromise like the game. It's not a retread of Snake Eater to get there. If Phantom Pain were that, if it were something that felt so familiar, trust me, I would not feel like as strongly as I did unless they had a boss fight with Skullface. But
Well, my issue with the ending is that it's too confusing in what it's actually trying to say. I don't think Kojima wants us to hate him. So on the one hand, like, he's passing the torch on to us, and on the other hand, he's betrayed us. I don't think he intended for both of those things at the same time.
I mean, I might be just overestimating him, because I do think he's probably, like, at heart he's an idiot, but...
Yeah. The thing is, even if he did intend for us not to hate Big Boss, like, it's impossible not to hate him for what he did and what he let happen. There's a scene in 24 season 5. Keeper Snake says it best when he's confronting the main villain. Whether or not you orchestrate the plan is irrelevant. You authorized it. You went along with it, and that's exactly what Big Boss did. Like, whether or not we're supposed to hate him or not, there's literally like no working around the fact that what he did was fucked up. What he let happen was fucked up, and that's why Kaz was so pissed off at him.
True.
Big Boss can go to hell. Can't send him there.
Well, from the beginning, he's never been the guy that does the thing. He just goes along with what people around him have been orchestrating. So I don't see any change in his character there.
You mean Big Boss?
Yeah, Big Boss.
No, he becomes the orchestrator.
In Peace Walker, he was.
When you
said
think
in
about
Peace Walker they become terrorists.
Yeah.
And he let Kaz take the newt when he said we could have dumped it. And then Big Boss like, no, you're good, son. Keep it. I want that.
I mean, when you think about it, MGS5 kind of plays up an aspect of his character that's been there since the beginning, but it's never fully explored. Like, when you think about it, he basically sent Solid Snake, who's his comrade, a fellow soldier, a person who Solid Snake personally trusts, into a trap orchestrated by him for the sake of getting the government off his back. So he's basically been manipulating soldiers and being this big hypocrite since day one. You just kind of don't see it until it happens more explicitly in V.
There's a scene in Portable Ops that after this makes a lot more sense. When Big Boss is confronting Gene, he basically says why he's full of shit. You use words to exploit men who trust you, then you throw them away. And that's exactly the exact same shit that Big Boss starts doing to his dudes. It's what he did to Keeper Snake. It's what he did to Solid Snake. It's what he did to Ocelot in the end.
Did Big Boss say that to Gene, or did Gene say that to Big Boss?
Big Boss said to Gene. Like,
Right.
Gene is basically Big Boss's Skullface. Gene represents what Big Boss will become one day, just how Skullface represents what Keeper Snake will become one day.
Why couldn't they just make Portable Ops instead of Metal Gear Solid 5?
Portable Ops has an awesome story.
Portable Ops.
Just the shitty gameplay.
Portable Ops is the cautionary tale.
I do really like Portable Ops. Like, the fucking gameplay, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, stuff.
I think it's so bad it's good. Like, I enjoy it because it's that bad.
You enjoy the fucking hand cramps, dude?
I don't get cramps. You have to figure out a way to play it. and
You don't
that's
have fat
kind of fun.
hands then, do you?
No.
Alright then.
The only thing I didn't like about Portable Ops was the stupid albino ninja. I liked him more when I thought he was black.
Oh my fucking god.
His original voice actor was so cool.
I don't know. I didn't think. Yeah, that weird accent's cool, but I still like the guy from Animaniacs better. Like,
Huh?
yeah, the dude who plays him in Twin Snakes is like one of the main guys in Animaniacs.
Which one? Dot? I mean,
Uh,
that's the girl. Yakko. No.
The oldest
Wacko?
one, the tall one, and the crazy scientist with the glasses. That's Gray Fox.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't go
one.
watch Animaniacs.
I just forgot.
Disappointing.
Just so we can slightly angle this back on track. I got just
No. We're almost
One
out of
more
time
question.
anyways. Let's talk about
No.
something fun.
yeah, just one more question for Folus. We talked about MGS5 and why it didn't work for you, like in a way. Compare, like, what made MGS2's twist work for you more than it did V?
More than it did with MGS5?
Yeah.
Made sense.
I think, I don't know, because when I first played MGS2, I was very young. So, as I said, like the first time, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't have any of the social context around it. The reason I could appreciate MGS2 is just because I joined MGS forums and I got access to all this information when I was older, and I managed to came back. Maybe like in 5 years, I'll learn something about MGS5 that will make me appreciate it more. I'm just in a period of not really understanding exactly. I'm not entirely convinced of any of the theories I've heard so far about what Kojima was trying to do.
You seem convinced about a certain quiet theory.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's absolutely true.
I mean, that was true
absolutely-
before it even came out.
Oh my
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you guys, I can't thank you enough for my purple name.
I'm gonna change your username pink one of these days.
Please.
Just, if my username goes black one day, I'm leaving the forum.
Okay, we got it now. Hey,
Yeah,
you know what
excellent.
to do.
I think if Metal Gear 1 had a good remake, people might retroactively like MGS5 more. Like if it tied
Yeah.
everything properly. Because I think a lot of people are
Yes.
confused about Venom Snake.
Yeah.
If they didn't
Alright.
Metal Gear
People-
remake, they would have to retcon a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but who gives a shit that retcon anything? The
Yeah,
whole series
I
is
don't-
fucked anyway. Just
Yeah.
retcon it, whatever makes it work, dude.
Like, I still have people who look at like when I'm playing MGS5, and they like don't know much about the series, and they see Venom Snake and like, hey, it's Solid Snake, so there's still a lot of confusion about that shit.
Yeah, Yahoo, they said the same thing. Keeper Sutherland is now playing Solid Snake.
Oh my god. So yeah,
Before Phantom Pain, I played Ground Zeroes every day at least an hour. I had messages from my friends on the PlayStation thing and on Skype asking what the hell is wrong with him. Like, I'm riding in a truck. I have to get the Intel tapes. After Phantom Pain, after I just realized how underwhelming the story was, I can't play any Metal Gear. I'm like just done with the entire series. Like that's
Yeah,
how.
that's why you're pre-ordering Survive, right? Because you're so done with the series.
Yeah, because it's all gameplay. Who cares about story? I don't care about story. I want to cardboard box dive.
That still like legit blows my mind that people are so head over people are so head over heels hating the story. Like, oh my god, the story. Y'all motherfuckers want a bad story? Play Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Like, I'm still like blown away that people say this story is so bad it doesn't make me. I can't go back to the game where a dude gets possessed by a fucking arm.
I liked that. It was a fun
Yeah,
arc.
actually, just let me use the soapbox about how much I dislike a series that I'm a member of a forum that I have 30k posts on. Kojima always sucked at storytelling. It's the other stuff that elevated his games. It was the presentation. It was the gameplay. It was just the spirit, but just the actual writing has always been piss poor.
Exactly. Like, what was so great about the story of Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, Peace Walker, especially 4, that 5 is so offensive that you can't go back. That's something that still don't make no sense.
The progression of excuse me, Faisal, it's my turn to interrupt you.
Let him talk. I want to hear it.
The progression of Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3, and I can't really speak for 4. The fun I had with it was after a boss fight or during a boss fight, I'd call up everybody in the codec and say, "What the fuck's with this guy? You're like, what is this guy's deal?" It was fun. I like getting that. That was my entertainment. Information dumps on guns, environments, and stuff. Yeah, it was part of my story. In Metal Gear Solid 5 is like, fuck you. Here's a tape. Here's our podcast. Here's something horrible happened on the base, boss. Don't talk. No, don't worry about it. Just listen to the tape later.
That's not new. Like every single look at Metal Gear Solid 2. One of the other things I didn't like about it was literally half the fucking cutscenes are codec calls. The best parts of Metal Gear Solid 1 were codec calls. The Naomi scenes, those were the best parts for me. When Snake's revealing himself to Naomi. Oh shit! I didn't mean it like that. I mean when Snake's revealing the truth about Naomi. About his life to Naomi, like the cutscenes themselves. What's so great about them?
I mean, that's fair enough, but I feel, and this is completely subjective, but I feel like MGS 1 and 2 and 3 have a certain charm to it that MGS 5 lacks.
But what's the charm though?
That's the thing.
I mushroom and recharge your batteries, and then you can call people up and be really excited about your batteries recharging because you mushroom, and they just like, whoa. And then they hang up on you.
Yeah, even the bad writing is kind of bad in an adorable way, for me at least.
Well, the old games have a life to them that 5 doesn't. Like the fact that you have to actually call people on the codec and then they respond to you, it makes you feel like you're actually part of this. Whereas MGS5, well, first of all, the story is too sparse to begin with, and it doesn't feel like you have much of a part in it at all.
Yeah, it's like, here's a tape. You're passive instead of active.
See, that's why I don't agree at all, because the missions that don't have cutscenes at all, those are the ones where I feel more involved than I ever did playing Metal Gear, any Metal Gear before. Like, I can go in, I can decide to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to listen in on this motherfucker. I'm going to find out what he's about, or I'm going to kill him. I'm going to find out what's going on over here, or I'm just going to get my job done. Like, I'm an active participant instead of an observer, like I am in the other games. Like, calling people on the other codec thing, like, first off, like, aside from Snake Eater, I never actually had any incentive. Well, no, not true. That's another thing I did like about Sons of Liberty. Calling Otacon and Snake were some of my favorite parts, because, Freeman, you remember the one scene where Raiden starts bitching about Snake and Otacon's like, dude, he's right here.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Those moments, that shit I like.
Yeah.
Like, the humanizing moments of Sons of Liberty, that shit I like, but that's still just one moment in the series. There's moments in the codec when they have that, and then a lot of it is just pure jargon. Like the gun shit, I got no interest in that. Like the people in the codec thing in Metal Gear Solid 1, I didn't call any of them for any reason. It was the ones when they called me, when Naomi called me during a forced cutscene, that's when I liked it. In Sons of Liberty, apart from like those moments with Snake and Otacon and Raiden, I never called the Colonel. I damn sure didn't fucking call Rose so she can bitch about me not forgetting about her fictitious anniversary.
You're rude.
What the fuck was that?
He's feigning. He's Bane evolved.
No, Dude, that was fucking Bane having an orgasm right there.
Form of Bane.
I'm trying to impress.
I mean, like I do get like it's all ultimately subjective. Nothing I say is gonna change on his mind. I get that. Like it's all just like what one person prefer or don't prefer. That just don't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense like how it's the bad shit is part of the charm at one point, but then it's different another time. You know?
Yeah, that I know. It's a shitty argument of my part. I just
No, I mean I get
feel about it. You know.
Yeah, I mean if that's if people feel, no one can help how they feel. You know, I can't help still not feeling ashamed of my words and deeds. You know, it's just who I am. Kojima can't help taking pictures of his food for 6 seconds.
Yeah, farewell sausage.
I think the last point is the soundtrack of each game that we haven't touched on.
Yeah, let's
Metal Gear Solid
wrap
5
this
is
up
best.
so I can talk with Keith about Deus Ex for a bit because.
Then Metal Gear Solid 3. 5.
Yeah, maybe.
Then 2.
So now I'll let Freeman go first about soundtrack.
I love the soundtrack of all the games, all the Metal Gear Solid games.
V has such an awful, boring soundtrack.
I
What?
can hang up on you.
Yeah, just remove
I think all of them had
Okay.
pretty good soundtrack.
Oh, I missed. Forget it.
Guys, V has like 3 memorable tracks, and I'm not even joking.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
he is.
pushing.
He is joking though. That's the funny thing. He admitted it to Kamran, and now he thinks he can keep the joke going. I saw your post, motherfucker. The jig is up.
Regret and acceptance. The V has come to track, and the one for the mirror break scene. Those 3 are really good. Everything else can slot
3
into
and
the next
every
Die
other
Hard
track.
movie. Just bullshit.
Nothing for me. Like I'm with Freeman. I love all the Metal Gear tracks. Even what do you call it? I guess Revengeance. I love, like, it's a guilty pleasure for me. I'm not ashamed to admit that. For me, V is still my jam because there are so many fucking tracks I can just put on my headphones and
go.
just work out to. There ain't nothing in Metal Gear get me more pumped than listening to OKB0. That shit right there. What exactly? Whatever the hell that was.
Come on. Oh wait, that was Sahelanthropus.
Yeah, that was silent. That was, yeah. But I got what you were saying.
Yeah. So I think this concludes our battle for MGS2, and I think the consensus is that MGS2 is a good game with some questionable design choices, some questionable.
MGS2 was expertly crafted from the ground up to be what it was. Metal Gear Solid 3 just felt like it was a little bit rushed. It was not
It's my
nearly as
podcast.
polished.
Let's say our individual pieces. So
Yeah,
starting
yeah.
with whoever.
Starting with me, because
I'll
I already
start
cut it.
Yeah, go on. Fuck you.
Nah, I'm done. I don't care anymore. I already cut you off, I win.
Alright, so I think my take on MGS2 is it's a good game with interesting ideas, and it attempts to do something unique with the medium, but it has some questionable design choices, some questionable decisions on Kojima's part, but in general, when I play MGS2, I have a good time. MGS3 still sucks. MGS2 is better than MGS3. That's my piece.
Okay. Well, I agree that it has its good and bad things. The important thing is that it's all designed towards that one purpose of what it's trying to say, and I think that's important. And for that reason, I'd forgive most of its flaws. So overall, I think it's probably my second or third favorite game in the series.
I'll let Freeman go first.
Yeah, that's it.
Alright, I think MGS2 is the best game in the series. That's my piece.
Fair enough.
I think I wouldn't say fuck MGS2 like as many times as Lewis Black screams at people if people didn't love it as much as they did. If people didn't say they loved it more than the. Otherwise, I probably kind of like it, but out of principle, I kind of hate it.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so there was a pretty informative.
Did Infiltrator get to say
Arguments.
anything?
Oh, but
Shit.
Oh shit.
yeah, sorry.
Closing opinions on MGS2.
Yeah, this is definitely a lot of things that I don't like about it, like long codecs and things like that. But I think for me, the positive things outweigh the negatives. So yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. Hey,
So-
Gene is 23 years old. What the hell is that about?
Why are you surprised?
He's not
Yeah.
25 yet.
It says 23 on
People
here.
along.
That guy acts so old. He acts like an old horny dude. Like
Dude.
he seems more responsible than a 23-year-old. So happy
Black
birthday,
King
Gene.
has been there longer than all of us, and he's 22. Y'all
Yeah.
motherfuckers are young.
I'll go shove a bird, mate.
We got these like 30-plus-year-olds just running around like making fake hashtags, and there's Gene. He's like, oh, I gotta go to work.
He's responsible.
Departed if I open a GoFundMe to get you a shift key, will you start typing properly?
If you open a GoFundMe to get me a shift key, I will change your username to MGS3 makes me moist. And then I will make your username blue. I mean,
yeah. Okay, guys, GoFundMe.com.
fuck. I forgot what color
I've got it on record. It's gonna be my rise to the top.
Yeah. Speaking of age, I'm
The
turning.
funny thing about the rise to the top, it means it's a harder fall to the bottom.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm good friends with Dante. I'm sure he would have absolutely no reservations on making me an admin.
Oh, I'm sure he would love that.
None at all.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Freeman can also back this up. I think every morning, Dante starts off with a cup of tea, and he says, fuck Faisal.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's his routine.
Yeah.
nah, I mean, it doesn't make fucking sense. Departed is 10 times the contrarian I am. It
Yeah,
somehow
but-
gets away with it.
Because
Good.
I don't say nah, your post is shit. I actually just because I don't have a shift key don't mean I actually don't explain my shit. You motherfucker.
I'm sorry to break it to you, but I'm sure like 80% of the forum doesn't read your posts. when
I
they're
know
longer
they
than
don't
3
read my
sentences.
post, but the joke is on them because I can change their fucking post to wow, you're right, I'm an asshole.
Faisal,
So I
can you
went
change your
away.
signature to either citation needed, because your shit doesn't back your, or maybe someone could change it to the views of this poster do not reflect the
Yes.
views of the moderation staff.
Or any other human
Disclaimer in your
being.
signature.
Oh yeah,
So, like-
we have a fresh mod here. 47 became a mod like a week ago.
Huh?
Well,
How did I
not
become
really.
a mod?
Yeah, he became a mod.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Mafia
when-
game, right?
Oh, just the Mafia section. So not really.
Yeah, he's getting
Wow.
places. He got the highest, most prestigious
Yeah.
position on the forum.
This is the furthest I'll ever get, so I can give up on posting well now.
That means no more memes, guys. Shit.
I
Yeah,
did
no
2
more
memes
memes.
today.
Yeah, your Max Payne one was okay.
I got 2 likes. Woo! I had
Uh-oh.
Departed's name in it. I'm surprised Departed didn't like it.
I didn't. I'll check it and I'll like it for you.
Yeah.
Wow,
Nah,
you guys
I
are...
treat you too good. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I treat you too fine.
I would try to go
Kevin.
back to BJ and A, or what are you guys, D and E now, but
Just the.
I'd go back, but
Yeah, if you leak to
Kagawa.
Kagawa, you're on the forum's shit list.
Every-
they're-
I think everyone who ever had beef with you left the org. There's no. I'm just saying. I'm here for you, baby.
you give us presents. It's just that the Tokugawa guys are delightful. They have little sing-alongs. They do love SpongeBob. It's a different environment. I just don't want to leave it. It's
I
a
don't.
breath of fresh air.
Look, I can view all the
the
private
best
forums.
graphics.
I know what's true and what ain't, and I know that the heavy anime forum is legitimately a good forum, so I don't blame you.
And the only
oh.
good things about when I was, what was it? What did I leave? Oh, I was left. It was like SOL. I wasn't even. If it was BJ and Anch, I wouldn't have left. And Faisal wouldn't have left. But the best parts were you and
Shadow.
Pretty much everyone right here. We were all in there. Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
everybody left. I'm like, oh.
No, but I genuinely sell you all just to have Shadow back for a day.
Oh, dude, Shadow is fucking awesome.
The fuck is Shadow?
He was a dude that he's only in he was only ever posting in that private forum. He was like the nicest guy in the world, and it was like all his posts like were really considerate, really nice, and all his personal stuff was about how he was helping his friends and shit. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, wow. I
Hey,
almost
was I
had
there?
to die in a car accident.
Was I there
Uh,
when he was posted?
No,
you
no.
probably
That
were.
was like
Nah,
September,
you
October,
left.
like around that time.
Yeah, nah, he hasn't been on for a while.
I remember his posts were quite long.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like they were. He somehow was nice to Raul, and anyone who browses the MGS5 section knows that's a literal impossibility.
Yeah, that was what made me say, hey, you're the only one who isn't in the Metal Gear Solid 5 second who isn't a shithead. You want to join us? He's like, yeah, sure.
No, wait, I invited him.
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
Yeah, well, fuck.
Basil, I think everything that Departed has done, you said that you had the idea first. You're like, oh, we should be like
Bullshit about we
oh, we should say this
So, actually,
product.
since we're at it, Freeman has some shit to do, so yeah,
Yeah,
thank
I need
you.
to go, guys.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the meaningful debate, and yeah, I guess we'll see you around.
That was
Lucky
fun,
bastard
dude.
gets to
My
leave.
pleasure. See you
Take
guys
care.
later.
See ya.
Yeah.
See it.
Now Bill Wilson is stuck with me.
This, I gotta say, guys, this was the longest, laggiest, most boring podcast I've ever been part of.
You say that about every podcast. You say it's the worst.
No, I didn't say it was laggy last
No,
time.
no, he says it so people can like say, "Oh no, you made a good podcast."
I'm not fishing for compliments. I was playing Secret World. It's a very fun MMO. I was playing it with a good friend. I was
Literally
enjoying
every
myself. And then you
single
come up
post.
in your, hey,
Every single post is either fishing for a like, fishing for a compliment, or
I will
yeah.
tell you when I'm fishing for a like. Someone liked my Max Payne meme, and someone liked that Bane thing I made where he's holding a copy of Metal Gear Solid 2. Those are gold. This podcast is trash. Everybody, please dislike it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, Kevin, let's talk about Deus Ex for a second, since I know you beat it.
Yeah.
It's better than MGS5 in terms of gameplay.